Okay, this is the next part of the window restoration project. Now, what I'm doing today is I'm putting back on this trim piece, which fits onto a groove. It's just a trim that was part of the original window frame. Now the problem was that it was all rotted at the bottom. Okay, so what I had to do was cut it. So here's an example of a piece that came off of a window that I salvaged. I had to replace 2 basement windows, but I used this stock of this trim as a replacement piece. So it has about a 12-degree bevel at the bottom, and that matches the windowsill. You could measure that with a tool and then cut a replacement at that angle. But in this case, it turned out that the piece I took off on the other side, this piece is beveled with that same bevel on the top and the bottom for some reason. It's only needed on the bottom to match the windowsill, but apparently they cut them on both ends that way, and then they can use them, I guess, on both sides. But anyway, so this piece actually came off the top of the trim piece on the other side. It wasn't completely rotted out, but it was rotted though. It's punky. It was soft at a few spots here, so I cut it off, and I cut the replacement piece. That just makes the original piece shorter. So here's the original piece. I cut it off at 90 degrees on one end and at the 12 degrees on the other end. In this case, I just used this piece on my miter, on my cutoff saw, and I just adjusted the blade to match this. I didn't actually measure it. It's better if you don't actually try measuring it. You just match it with, if you can get a match of what you want. Okay, then I just put some primer on the back side, but that's just back priming it. This will be the front side facing the outside. This is facing that. Okay, then after I did that, I then also had to cut the replacement piece to match the correct length, so I'll get the total length of what I want the replacement. So there will be one seam in this replacement, and I've already done this on one side, so you can see the job that I already did on this side. Okay, and let me see if I can get access up there. You can see right there is where that's like a 5-inch piece that I needed on that side. Then I cut off. Then I cut that piece at the bottom at the 12 degrees. And I've nailed this one on this side of the window, but not on the other side. Okay, I've done half of it. Just to show you, I'll paint this now. I'll prime it or whatever, paint it before I put on the next trim piece and the storm window. It does still have to go on. I might try pausing here until I do the other side, but if not, it'll look exactly like this side. Okay, there's nothing really different there, but I'll try pausing it. The original trim piece was held in with these staples. There were 4 of them. I'm nailing them back in with these panel nails. This is just what I happen to have lying around. 1 5/8 inch. It's a little bit longer than that. It has the ring shank on it. It seemed to work okay on that side, so I'm going to use that on the other side too. Okay, here I am on the outside. I did have to go on the ladder to nail in. Up at the top, I could nail this particular little trim piece. There is the little piece on the top on the other side. Now you can see right here the replacement piece. Now on the original windowsill, it wouldn't be overhanging that much because I lost some of the profile on the sill, so it overhangs a little bit more. But now I've primed the end grain on this. Okay, that's very important because you don't want water to soak up through there to the end grain. In fact, from that point of view, having a gap there is not a bad thing. I will probably caulk that anyway, and hopefully the caulk will help to seal it so that water would pull there anyway. Now, I still have to put on probably a 3-inch trim board for the next step on this. Okay, this is just the next step on this, and then the storm window goes on right there. Okay, so that gives you the next step anyway. This is a multi-step. It might add some more insulation in that little crack before I put the final trim piece on. And I'll maybe paint this or what have you. Okay, so anyway, that's all for now.